All right, we're about to dive into one of the most intense starts to life in the entire animal kingdom. Seriously, forget everything you think you know about cute, fuzzy baby animals, because we're heading into the unbelievably brutal world of a newborn bat. Okay, just try to picture this for a second. Imagine being born hanging upside down. And nope, that's not some kind of metaphor. I mean, it's the literal, absolutely jaw-dropping reality for a bat pup. And believe me, that's just the first of its many, many life or death struggles. So yeah, that whole upside-down birth thing, it's really just the opening act for a life that is defined by constant, non-stop peril. You could easily make the case that it's one of the toughest starts to life you'll find anywhere, on the entire planet. So where does this incredibly dramatic birth even happen? Well, it's not in some cozy, protected little nest, that's for sure. Nope. Bat pups enter the world high, high above the ground, sometimes in the pitch-black darkness of a cave, or deep inside a tree hollow, or even just clinging to a sheer cliff face. And as if all that wasn't bad enough, the pup comes into this world completely blind, totally hairless, and just so incredibly weak it's completely helpless. A single wrong move, one tiny, momentary loss of grip, and that's it. It's fatal. So all this extreme vulnerability, it leads directly into the newborn's very first great test. And we're not talking about a challenge that happens days or even hours later. No, this is an immediate life or death struggle that kicks off in the very first second of its life. I mean, really think about this. Within just seconds of being born, while it's hanging there, dozens, maybe hundreds of feet in the air, this tiny newborn pup has one job, only one. It must find the strength to grab onto its mother's fur. And let me be clear, there are no safety nets, no do-overs. So what happens if those tiny little claws fail? What happens if it falls? The answer is as simple as it is brutal. There is no coming back from that. The stakes just could not be any higher. It's actually shocking how many bat pups don't even survive their first minute. Their entire life, it's all decided in less than 60 seconds. Okay, so let's say the pup passes that first terrifying test. Well, from that moment on, its survival rests completely on its mother. She's its anchor, its transportation, its one and only lifeline in this crazy, hostile world. And when I say lifeline, I mean it's a state of total, absolute dependence. This little newborn pup, it can't fly, it can't see, it can barely even support its own weight. It is 100% reliant on its mom for everything, for warmth, for food, for every single move it makes. So what does that transportation actually look like? Just try to picture it. You're a tiny newborn, blindly clinging to your mom's fur for dear life while she's zooming through the pitch-black night at full speed, hunting for insects. Yeah, that's your daily commute. But survival isn't just about holding on tight. The next huge hurdle is somehow getting through the overwhelming chaos of a massive bat nursery. And we're not talking about just a few bats here. Some of these colonies have thousands, tens of thousands of mothers and their pups, all crammed together in the dark. And the result? It's just this overwhelming wall of sound, of screeching and constant movement. So right in the middle of all that chaos, when a mother gets back from hunting, she has a nearly impossible job. She has to find her one specific baby in this giant sea of what looks like identical pups. And if she fails, or if she just takes too long, her pup starves. It's a tragic reality, but starvation is actually one of the biggest killers in these first few weeks. And as if starvation wasn't a big enough worry, there's the constant looming threat of predators. You've got snakes slithering up the cave walls, silent owls swooping in from the sky, wildcats waiting down below. Heck, even other kinds of predatory bats will see a helpless pup as an easy meal. But believe it or not, surviving that initial fall, the chaos of the nursery, all those hungry predators, all of that is just the warm-up acts. The real ultimate test for a bat pup, the final exam for survival, that's still to come. The real test, the one moment that truly determines everything, that begins when the pup is finally old enough to let go of its mom and try to fly for the very first time. And this is the moment where pretty much everything can go wrong. And this brings us to the most critical threshold of all. It's a moment that one researcher described just perfectly. They said, and now comes the most dangerous moment in a bat pup's life, its first flight. So, What happens next? After everything it's been through, does it make it? Well, we're going to have to continue that journey in part 2. You'd think taking your first flight would be this amazing adventure, right? A moment of pure freedom. But, if you're a bat pup, that first leap into the dark, it's the start of an absolutely intense and often fatal struggle for survival. So let's dive into why it's actually really, really brutal. Yeah, this quote really hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures the stakes. We're not talking about a gentle nudge from the nest here. For a bat pup, that first flight is, well, it's a terrifying life or death gamble. All right, so let's get right into it. Section 1, this nightmare first flight. The simple act of leaving the safety of the roost for the very first time is, no joke, one of the most dangerous moments in a bat's entire life. Okay, so to really get this, just picture a baby bird. We've all seen those videos, right? A little flutter, a short, kind of easy glide to a branch nearby. With mom and dad right there, it's all pretty low stakes, But for a bat pup, it is a completely different story. There's no easy gliding. Their first flight is a clumsy, frantic, high-energy struggle. And if a bird messes up, it can usually just recover. But if a bat pup makes a mistake, it crashes. And a crash is pretty much a death sentence, either from the fall itself or from whatever's waiting on the ground below. So let's say the pup somehow survives that first flight. You'd think the worst is over, right? Nope. It's immediately hit with 2 new problems that are just piling on top of each other. It's running out of gas, and it's trying to figure out a world it just doesn't understand. And the clock is ticking big time. See, learning to fly just torches an insane amount of energy. And these little guys have practically 0 fuel reserves. If a pup doesn't figure out how to fly and find its own food almost immediately, it starves. If they miss even 1 night of food, that's it, game over. Okay, just try to imagine this for a second. You're in its wings, you've just pulled off this terrifying first flight, you're starving, and now you have to navigate in complete pitch-black darkness. I mean, where do you even start? You know how adult bats are these absolute masters of echolocation, right? Well, a pup's sonar it's just not there yet. It's like trying to see through a blurry, warped camera lens. It's flying through this chaotic maze of trees, rocks, and cliffs, all while trying to dodge predators and even smack into other bats. It is total sensory overload, and in this world, 1 wrong move is your last one. Okay, so against all odds, our little pup has survived the flight, it's survived the chaos. The next challenge? It starts right away. Its mother starts to leave it all alone for longer and longer. The training wheels are officially off. All of a sudden, everything is on this tiny pup. It's got to figure out how to hunt, it's got to watch out for predators 24/7, and somehow learn to save every last bit of energy. Like it says here, its whole life just boils down to 1 single rule. Whatever you do, just don't die. So after all of that, after looking death in the face at every single turn, we finally get to the really incredible part of the story. You have to wonder, right? What's the point of this whole brutal nightmare? What's the reward for making it through? And here's the tough truth. Most of them don't make it. The journey is just too hard. The odds are stacked way too high against them. Surviving this, it's the exception, it's not the rule. But this is where the story gets really amazing. Because the few that actually make it, the ones who get through this trial by fire, well, they become something absolutely extraordinary. They become some of the most vital, most essential creatures on our entire planet. Yeah, these are the survivors that pollinate the very fruits we eat. They're the ones munching on billions of insects that would otherwise destroy our crops. They literally keep entire ecosystems in balance. That brutal start they have, it forges them into some of nature's toughest and most important survivors. So, look, the next time you see a bat, maybe you won't just see some creature of the night. Instead, you'll see a survivor of a journey that is next to impossible. It really makes you think, doesn't it? If the toughest journeys create the most vital survivors, what else are we getting wrong about them? What else are we missing?